The FBI now warns of increased risks during this holiday season. They are saying that right now there is a massive threat to public safety, and they are keeping a close eye on this. Well, today we're going to address this, where this is going, why we're seeing an increase to public safety right now, and want to address what Congress is doing. So, if you want to know everything that's going on at this moment, make sure you watch this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on. So there is definitely not a shortage of chaos here in the United States. And what we are continuing to see is that there are more and more problems as each day passes. But what we are hearing from the FBI is actually pretty concerning. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning of threats to public safety during the holiday season, which is amplified by the Israel-Hamas conflict. This conflict, which we are calling a war, has been going on for more than 2 months. Now, I want to show you some things, okay? Because what is being said right here, again, extremely important. Says the FBI says it is closely monitoring threats to public safety during the holiday season, which may be amplified by the war. Now, the FBI has been alerted to many different problems and potential risks over the past couple of months, and they are taking every single thing seriously. I want to read you a couple other things really quick. It says, we take all potential threats seriously and will work closely with our law enforcement partners to determine their credibility, share information, and take appropriate investigative action. That's according to a public service announcement. Now, according to the FBI and according to the director, Christopher Wray, we are seeing the highest risks that we have seen here in the United States, okay, in decades, because of this war that is going on between Israel and Hamas. And it's not because of what Israel is doing to Hamas. It's what Israel is doing to the people of Gaza. This is the reason why. There's a lot of hate towards different groups right now. But I want to show you this. It says, per an assessment from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security, ongoing tensions related to the conflict between Israel and Hamas likely heighten the threat of lone actor violence targeting large public gatherings throughout the winter, including holiday-related, faith-based New Year's Eve and First Amendment protected events related to the conflict. During this time of the year, we see a bunch of church gatherings. We see a bunch of family gatherings and different groups coming together for the holiday season. And according to the FBI and Homeland Security, they are seeing a heightened level of risks here. So one thing that they're saying is, if you see something, say something. Stay vigilant is what they're telling us. Okay? And the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, points to terrorist media organizations having called for lone actor attacks in the United States, as well as racially and ethnically motivated violent extremists having called for violence and celebrated attacks on the Jewish community. We are seeing so much stuff on TikTok, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, on Instagram. There's so much negativity. It's turning into a problem. I want to read you this one last thing, and then we'll talk about what is happening, what Congress is doing at this time. It says, we have also observed an increase in hoax, bomb, and active shooter threats targeting synagogues across the United States, likely intended to disrupt services and intimidate congregants. Calls for violence may increase in the days leading up to the holidays and before other notable events this winter. We therefore urge everyone to remain vigilant and to report any threats of violence or suspicious activity to law enforcement. That is something that I think we can't take lightly. If we see something, say something. And it may turn out to be absolutely nothing, but in the event it is a potential threat, at least we are alerting the authorities to it. Okay? That is what we're hearing. Now, I'm not here to to tell you that stay inside, don't go anywhere, that this is going to be the worst holiday season in the world and in history. I'm not here to tell you that. What I'm here to tell you is the threat level that we are facing right now is so high, and it's actually because of what is going on in other countries, but because the borders here in the United States are too open. That's what we're getting. That's what we're hearing from multiple experts. They're saying that we are hitting new records, and this is actually hurting us here in the United States. Look at this. It says migrant crisis smashing new records amid fresh surge at the southern border. There are over 12,000 encounters in a single day this week. That was from last week. That was 4 days ago. Last week, we saw over 12,000 migrant encounters at the border in one single day. That is absolutely smashing records. Okay? Also, right now, Congress is struggling to come up with a solution. How do we fix this problem? Well, Democrats and Republicans are trying to jump on board, trying to come up with some type of bipartisan agreement. However, they're having very little luck because neither one wants to bend. Neither one wants to accept what the other party is willing to offer. But this is something I thought was very interesting. This is something that an administration official privately told lawmakers. Look at this. It says 5,000 illegal immigrants released every day into the United States on average. This is an admin official privately tells lawmakers. Total illegal immigrants released could top 1.8 million for the year if current pace continues. Okay, this is scary. There's another number that's extremely scary, and this is why there's a heightened threat level. It says right here in this exclusive, the Biden administration has told lawmakers that on average of 5,000 illegal immigrants are currently being released into the United States each day at the border. That's concerning, but it's doable. Okay, as long as we know how many are coming in, we can actually plan for that. It says while there are over 670 illegal immigrants who evaded Border Patrol last fiscal year. Okay, these are what they are calling gotaways. Okay, that's what they're calling them. It's over 670,000 people. Guess what? We don't know who they are. They got away. We have no clue. They could be terrorists. They could be Nobel laureates. We don't know what they are. They could be actors and professional athletes. We have no clue who they are. That's the concern. And that's why the FBI and Department of Homeland Security is extremely concerned, because we do not know who has been led into the country over the past year. Again, and I talked about this earlier on this morning in a video that I was telling you that China is gearing up to potentially attack the United States, because what we are seeing is that there are people being put in place. There are different attacks happening, small little cyber attacks happening, and they're threatening our infrastructure, threatening the border as well. They're threatening, water supply, water utilities. They're threatening power, our power grid, right? Transportation. There's little bugs that are being implanted into our system. And the threat here is if the United States were to do something to China and we would go into a potential bigger conflict, what's going to happen is China has the ability to shut us down. How concerning is that? And I addressed this last year where certain ports, and the port out of Long Beach is one of them, they have Chinese equipment, Chinese cranes that pull the cargo boxes off the ships. Well, guess what? Those cranes, they have Chinese technology in them. And the concern here, and this has been the concern for many years, is what if China decided, you know what, let's just put a bug in there. Let's just change it a little bit so that we could control it. We could turn it on and off. Because guess what? If we can't get any of our the products off the ships, we're at a standstill in one of the biggest ports in the entire country. That would be devastating. Now, here's what else we know. According to the speaker, Mike Johnson, on the Ukraine deal, he says national security begins at our border. What does he mean by this? Well, what he means is the American people want to secure the border first. I want to read you this right here. He says, I think the American people agree with us that national security begins at our own borders. We have to maintain our own sovereignty, that we can project peace through strength and help our friends. And so I don't think that's an outrageous request. Now, he's saying this because what Republicans are asking for right now is more border security, stricter border policies. That's not something that Democrats want, because Democrats want to send $100 billion to Israel and Ukraine and Gaza, which is great, but in return, what are we going to get here to protect us at our border? Well, according to the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, he says it will be practically impossible to pass Ukraine funding before Christmas. Well, today's December 12th. That means we have 13 days before Christmas. Yes, it would be almost impossible because Congress will leave Washington this week. So as of Saturday, December 16th, Congress will not be in Washington. They'll be back in their home districts. They will be on recess until the end of the year. So, what can I tell you? Well, these threats to public safety, this is a real issue. So the last thing I want to leave you with is, if you see something, say something, and stay vigilant. Stay safe this holiday season. So that's where we're at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on. I'll share all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of right now. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.